Good day, everybody. This is Arun from Bangalore. I'm associated with the community for the past 6+ years. I personally overcame sleep apnea and autoimmune disorder. So many congratulations. Before I could begin the topic, many congratulations to Amrita for the amazing transformation that you have been through, and also to Dr. Shubhashini for bringing out the best of Amrita. Okay, so today we have an amazing, very interesting topic of unlocking the better version of our eye health. Okay, before getting into the topic, I want to ask you three important questions. Please mention in the comment below. How many of you have seen the sunrise and the sunset today? If you've seen, just say yes in the comment box. Sunrise, sunset. Okay, yes, excellent. Okay, next question. How many of you have gone for 30 minutes to 1 hour of walk in nature? Not inside your house, outside of your house. 30 minutes to 1 hour of walk. Very good. Many of you are walking well. Excellent. Next question. How many of you had either fish or you had green leafy vegetables, especially greens in the last 1 week, 3 times to 4 times this week? Green leafy vegetables and fish, both, the last 1 week, 3 to 4 times. Every day. Ayan is saying every day. Okay. Mayank is saying I had vegetable paneer. Okay. Green leafy vegetable, Deepali. Great. Okay. So my goal is very simple. At the end of this presentation, I want all of you to say yes to all the questions that I asked you. If you can say yes, you're going to maintain your eye health really well. Okay. So today let's understand the science behind the poor eyesight and how to rectify it. Okay. Hope everybody is able to see my screen. From blurry to bright, unlock the secrets of better vision. First, before you could understand eyes, we should understand eye is an extension of our nervous system and the brain. Okay. So anything which affects the nervous system and also the brain will also affect the eyesight positively and negatively. If you do something good to your nervous system and to your brain, it's going to directly and indirectly help and also affect the eyesight. That's a very important thing to remember. And eye is not just individual organ. It's an extension, correct? It's an for you to understand the eyesight and the vision, we need to understand the complete body and the brain and also the inflammation that we are going through, and also the metabolic factors, like if you have diabetes or any other conditions, we should understand that also, because eyes feed your brain and also move your spine. Okay, so today we're going to understand and we're going to support the brain, the eyes at its root. So we must have seen this image in our schools. We're going to focus only on certain important areas of the brain today, because that's where we are finding most of the issues as of now. Okay, so here you have the lens. So here we have the lens, and here you will have the pupil here, and the retina. This entire area is called retina. Okay, 1 second. The entire area is called retina. This entire region is called retina, and this particular area is called macula. You must have heard this macular degeneration, or retina is affected, all these issues. So the retina is responsible whenever light comes in through the lens, through the pupil, it will reflect, it will be captured here in the retina. This will convert light into vision, which will be understood by the brain. A part of retina is called macula. This is like a sensor in your eyes. It's a sensor. It's going to adjust the light accordingly, according to the vision. If there is an issue with the macula, that's when we will have we'll have issues with the blurry eyes. We won't be able to see clearly, and all those issues. This particular area is also very much crucial to filter out the UV rays as well as the blue lights that we are constantly exposing ourselves to, and also this optic nerve which is coming from your brain. Okay, so the same thing, retina, macular, pupil, and all those things. Here we need to also understand the eyeballs. Something should hold the eyeballs. That's where you have muscles. Just like every other part of the body, we also have the muscles, which is, which are holding the eyeballs. We don't need to remember the names, but we know that there are muscles which needs to be exercised also. Now let's understand the common causes of poor eyesight. The very first thing is that poor gut health. Why do I say poor gut health? Because maximum or the chronic inflammation comes from your gut. And inflammation, this chronic inflammation is the number one reason for your poor eyesight, along with oxidative stress. This goes hand in hand. Okay. Second is the blood glucose dysregulations. Somebody who has diabetes, or insulin resistance, the very good test that you can do is fasting insulin, which will tell you exactly if you have insulin resistance or not. Even before you could develop diabetes, that will tell you exactly the blood vessels. Somebody who has this diabetes, the blood vessels will be affected, due to which they will start losing their eyesight gradually. And also, if you're not sleeping well, you're stressed out constantly, you're on the edge all the time, thinking or doing something all the time, or you have developed hypertension, or you have too much of cortisol, you're constantly stressed out, you're not sleeping. If you have any of these issues, remember your eyesight is also affecting, because which is also going to increase your inflammation indirectly, and which will also increase your blood glucose levels. If you're not sleeping, remember you can also develop diabetes just because you're not sleeping, or if you're stressed out also. And very important thing is mitochondrial dysfunction. This is why your coach must have told you which oil you are using at home. If at all you are using any sort of seed oil, that is a very reason for mitochondrial dysfunction. So once somebody develops this mitochondrial issues, which cannot be reversed. So that's the reason why you must change your oil right away. So any seed oil that you consume stays in the body for at least 3 long years. Unlike sugar, will be off from the body very quickly, but not the seed oil. And excessive blue light. A lot of us here on this call fall under this category. Correct? We're always all the time, home, scrolling the mobile devices, and also watching, the YouTube, and attending a lot of meetings all the time. And we're exposing ourselves to too much of blue lights, which is going to affect us very badly. Okay, and also smoking and poor posture, the way we sit. Because when we sit, we are sitting like this, constantly looking at the monitor. Correct? We are not exercising eyes, right? These are the important causes of poor eyesight. Let's understand the essential nutrients for the eyes. Just like every other part of your body, your eyes also need certain things. It needs certain nutrients. So it also needs oxygen and blood flow to the vessels, to the micro vessel that you have. And also it needs exercise. And also the brain and the body connection that need. These are the 4 important things that we are going to explain. And we will also have certain eye exercises towards the end of this session. Okay, it's going to be very important. Just by doing these 4 activities, maximum of your eye issues can be addressed, or you can maintain your eyesight. If at all you're using glasses, you will not need a glass anymore, because you will be able to preserve the same power. Some cases we can also reverse it. I have reversed my eyesight issue just by doing all these 4 activities regularly. Okay, let's understand the first important thing is the best food for your eyesight. I'll start with something called, before even we talk of this eyesight, a lot of times what happens is we're constantly using the mobile devices and the laptop, correct? We're getting all these blue lights, which is affecting the eyes. So something has to be repaired. We have to repair it, we have to rebuild it. When we are very young, what happens is we have something called carotenoids. When we're very young, like 20, 25, we have a dense carotenoids in our eyes, which will protect us. But as we age, the carotenoids also goes down. That's when we start having all sorts of issues. By the age of 40, everybody starts wearing glasses. Correct? So that's the very first thing. If at all you have any of these issues, you are using a lot of devices, or even if you are not using it also, if you're aging, if you're aging also, you should try this out. Lutein and zeaxanthin. These are the very important carotenoids. Antioxidant, we call it. Okay. So everybody knows these things are very important. But what is important is the dose that is going to play a very, very critical role. So lutein and zeaxanthin. Lutein take like 10 grams and 10 mg, and zeaxanthin 2 mg. For what are the sources of it? Very simple. Green leafy vegetables. That's the very reason I asked you this question. Are you taking green leafy vegetables every single day, at least 3 to 4 times a week? If you're taking, great job, because it will give you kale, the best source of kale and spinach and bell peppers and egg yolks. This is something very, very important to keep in mind. If you have any sort of compromised immune system or gut health, you need to go low on spinach, because sometimes it can also lead to kidney stones. Okay, kale is a better option. If you do not have any gut issues, or if you did not have any sort of past history of kidney stones, spinach is a great option too. Okay, combine it really well. That's something very, very important, and it's going to protect the macular health, and also it's going to filter out the blue light that we are constantly exposing ourselves to, because we're always sitting inside. Second is this very critical one, omega-3. So we know that it contains EPA and DHA. So good source of salmon, sardines, and mackerel. If you're a vegetarian, algae is a great option too. But if you're a vegetarian, take this a little bit more, because the bioavailability of algae is a little less, right? So you need to remember this. 50 to 60% of the retinal is made up of DHA. That's why anything that you do to improve your brain will also improve your retina, your eyes. Okay, and we are constantly having a lot of dryness. This is because we are having less omega-3. The dose of omega-3 depends upon how much of damage we have done based on the seed oil, all this inflammation that we have. It depends upon that. So you should check with your coach. Usually, we can take somewhere around 1 to 1.5 grams. 1 gram at least is something very basic. Okay, talk to your coach on this. And what are the other things? Vitamin A. This is something very important for your night vision and also the dry eyes. Okay, so good sources are going to be egg yolks, liver, cod liver oil. Great sources. So do not just depend upon beta carotene. That is an inactive form that needs to be activated. Very less percent of it gets activated into vitamin A. Get the active form as much as possible. And also for the vitamin A to work, you need zinc. Zinc comes from simple, pumpkin seeds. Soak it overnight, take it the next day morning, and make sure that you're also balancing out with omega-3s, because it does come with a lot of omega-6. Okay, so this is very important to activate your vitamin A, along with helping out the night vision. And this is something, berries. If you're most of you in your diet, we like taking berries. Continue taking it. It's very, very important. There are some do's and don'ts that we should understand here. First important thing is SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Why am I talking of this? Because the maximum inflammation is going to come from your gut. First thing. Second, the nutrition absorption goes down 40 to 50% if you have SIBO, because you have a lot of microbes which are fighting for the food that you eat. So first you have to fix the SIBO. Only then the absorption will be high. Otherwise you have to eat more. Remember, the soil quality is already dropped. Vegetables and all the things that we are eating, already 10% of it is already dropped already by now. And on top of that, you also, if you have SIBO, nutrition absorption goes down even further. On top of that, if you have insulin resistance, the absorption is even less. That is why you should fix this SIBO first. Second, do prolonged fasting. This is the best thing that you can ever do to your health. Okay. See, we have a lot of eye floaters. If you close your eyes, looking at the sun in the morning, you will see a lot of, lines would be there. You must have experienced this, correct? Why does it come? It comes because of a combination of something called protein and sugar. Every time we eat, what do? A lot of times we combine protein and sugar. Unless you're in the diet, a lot of times this happens. This becomes a sticky protein. This goes and stays there in the eyes. That's when it leads to something called eye floaters. The best way to overcome that is not just intermittent fasting. You can start with intermittent fasting, but if you can go for prolonged fasting, it is definitely going to improve. Okay, so minimum you can, if you don't have any sort of stomach ulcer or gastritis or diabetes, if you don't have any of these issues, you can definitely do intermittent fasting. Gradually, you can move on to prolonged fasting also. Okay, next is sunlight. Sunlight is going to be very, very, very critical for your eyesight. That's why we say, we do in the morning, Surya Namaskar, we do, correct? Why? How does it help us? Because it's going to give us something called vitamin D, and also it will give you melatonin indirectly, not directly. every part of the eye needs vitamin D and melatonin. Melatonin is the most powerful antioxidant. This is 2 times more powerful than glutathione. Okay, somebody who has got glaucoma is an autoimmune disorder. So for that, they should take sunlight along with NAC. That's a separate thing. Castor oil also helps if somebody has cataracts. This is tried. You can try it out. And what is the thing that you should avoid? The very first thing is seed oil. You increased your omega-3, but at the same time, you should bring down your omega-6. If you don't do this, it's going to be problematic. Okay, you have to bring down your omega-6 and reduce the exposing ourselves to the blue lights a lot of times. You can have a good filter. Eyeglasses are not going to correct any vision, but you check with your doctor on that. Okay, and one important thing is that do not consume the same food or don't do the diet for a long extended period of time, because we don't know which are the nutrients we are missing out on. Okay, that's a very important point. Okay, so before we could move on, let's do certain exercises. Okay, this is something very critical. We're going to do certain exercises. First thing is that we have to do like this. This will create a little heat. Cover your eyes. Place it on your eyes. Don't press it. Just cover it on your eyes for about 10 seconds. And after that, you can take it out. So this will increase the heat. And now we should also increase the circulation, blood circulation, oxygen in the blood circulation. This is the second important point. Correct? Let's do this. First, keep your thumb over here and start pressing clockwise and anti-clockwise. Gently, please press. What it will do is, it will increase the blood flow to your eyes. Second, start it just over the eyebrows. Clockwise and anti-clockwise 10 times. You can do that. I hope everybody is doing. And then just below the eyes. Okay, so this is something important to increase the oxygen as well as the blood flow. Now, what happens is, since we look at the screen a lot of times, we forget to blink. That leads to dry eyes. So every 1 hour, for every 1 hour, you have to take a break for like 20 seconds. 20 seconds of break, and do this. Keep blinking. Blink and then squeeze in. You can follow me. Blink. You can blink. While blinking, squeeze in for 2 seconds. Do this 10 times. This is the very first exercise that you should do. Okay. Second, do it slowly, gradually. Don't overdo it. Do it slowly, because there are muscles. We are activating the eye muscles with these exercises. Second important thing, it's a very, very simple eye rotation. Just look upwards, downwards. Do it slowly. And then you can also do it, left to right, and also diagonally. You should also do this like this. Okay, and then clockwise and anti-clockwise. This is a second important exercise. Do it slowly for about start with 1 minute. If you don't have any strain, you can go for 2 minutes, but don't overdo it. Okay, so this is something we should do that. That's the second thing. Third, this is going to be near far focus. A lot of doctors must have taught you this technique. Take your thumb, place it just above, in front of you, like 10 feet, 10 a little away, far away, 10 inches away. Just focus on this thumb, on your thumb, for about a few seconds, 1 or 2 seconds, and then look at an object which is 20 feet away. 20 feet away. For about 10-20 seconds, you can look at it and change the focus. Back and forth, you should do this. Okay, this is a third important exercise. Fourth one, this also a lot of doctors do tell you, 20-20-20. For every 20 minutes, you have to take a 20-second break and look at an object, same like the far and close object. You should also look at an object which is placed 20 feet away. It's a very important technique too. Why are we doing this? I'll explain that also. And next is neck and upper and back rotation. This is the thing, body and the brain and the body connection. There is a connection between your brain and the body. To improve that, we are doing the neck and the upper body rotation. To your shoulders, clockwise and anti-clockwise. Do like 10 seconds. Okay. And after that, it's neck. Neck is something very important. See, it's normal to do like this, correct? It's very normal to do like this. Just look at this. Look at me now. Now, my eyes are focusing on you guys. Right? Now it becomes a completely different exercise. Why are we doing this? We are activating all the muscles that are holding the eyelid. Okay. And also this way. It's a very important exercise. You have to go, towards your left and then forward. Right? So if you do this exercise on a regular basis, you will be able to overcome the strain that you have. See, our eyes are not designed to look at objects in a close environment. We are supposed to look at objects which are very far away placed. Correct. So naturally, we can answer this simple question: who gets maximum eye issues? Is it somebody who is inside the house, also inside the house and looking at the monitors and the mobile devices, or somebody who is just outside? The first one, correct? Somebody who is always inside or looking at the devices is going to get all these issues. So let's just go out, step out a little bit whenever there is a possibility. If there is an option where you can use your mobile device as a laptop outside, please try doing that. Okay. So after today, everybody should go for a walk. When we are walking, we automatically do all these exercises, and we also get the sunlight, vitamin D, and melatonin, which also improves the eyesight, along with lutein and zeaxanthin and omega 3. Okay, so this is what I wanted to cover. So back to the host.